Have you ever felt rejected by the very people who should have loved you the most? Family, friends, people you trusted. You gave them your heart, and they gave you silence. You tried your best, and they still turned their backs. But what if I told you, rejection isn't the end of your story? Let me take you back to a boy named Joseph. He was thrown away by his own brothers, but God never threw him away. Joseph was just 17, young, hopeful, and deeply loved by his father, Jacob. He wore a coat of many colors, a symbol of favor, but that favor made him a target. His brothers saw him not as a sibling, but as a threat. Then came the dreams. Joseph dreamt that their bundles of grain bowed to his. Another night, he saw the sun, moon, and stars bowing before him. Instead of inspiring faith, the dream stirred hatred. "Will you really rule over us?" they sneered. Bitterness grew, until one day they had enough. One day, Joseph was sent to check on his brothers in the fields. They saw him coming, and they plotted. "Here comes the dreamer," one said. They stripped him of his coat, threw him into a pit, and while he cried from the darkness, they sat and ate like nothing happened. Then, they saw traitors passing by. Instead of killing him, they sold him, their own brother, for 20 silver coins. Joseph was bound, afraid, and taken to Egypt. He was rejected, but not by God. In Egypt, Joseph was sold to Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh. But even as a slave, he remained faithful. God's favor followed him. Everything Joseph touched prospered. He rose through the ranks until Potiphar's wife accused him falsely. He did nothing wrong, yet again rejected. Thrown into prison, wearing the chains of injustice, but not forgotten. Even in prison, Joseph interpreted dreams. He comforted others when he himself had no comfort. And still, he waited. Years passed. Then, Pharaoh had a dream no one could interpret. Joseph was remembered, called. He interpreted Pharaoh's dream, warning of 7 years of plenty, followed by 7 years of famine. Pharaoh was amazed. In one day, Joseph went from a prisoner to the prime minister of Egypt. He wore royal robes, rode a chariot, and oversaw the entire land. From the pit to the palace, not because of luck, but because of purpose. The famine came, just as Joseph said. Back in Canaan, his brothers had no food. They traveled to Egypt, desperate. They bowed before Joseph, not knowing who he was. The dream had come true. He had the power to punish, but he chose mercy. He wept, and he forgave. "Don't be afraid," he told them. "What you meant for evil, God meant for good." Joseph was rejected, not once, but many times. By his brothers, by society, by circumstances. But each rejection was part of God's redirection. You may feel forgotten. You may wonder why doors keep closing. But like Joseph, your pain might be positioning you for something greater. Your pit might be preparation for a palace. Sometimes, rejection is the only way God can move you into the place He's prepared for you. So, don't let bitterness steal your faith. Your story is still unfolding. What if the very rejection that broke you was the one thing that will lead you to the place you were always meant to be? Have you ever experienced rejection that later turned out to be God's redirection? Let's talk in the comments.